guys, welcome back to another video. I'm Boy Count here, and today we're going to be going over everything you need to know for the conference championship weekend in college football, which will kick off Friday night, possibly today. Maybe it already has if you're listening to it, maybe Saturday, with Oregon and Utah in the Pac-12 championship, and some big matchups, and I'm going to go over how they're going to affect the playoff, as well as anything else I can come from these matchups over the weekend, with a total of 9 games, 8 possible conference championships. Or, I mean, 8 ranked. I'm actually going to go ahead and pull up all of them while we're at it. But if we go to the playoff right now, we have Georgia at 1, coming off a pretty convincing win against rivals Georgia Tech. I don't think anyone's really even remotely concerned. If they lose to Alabama, they will still end up being in the playoff, but it won't matter. They'll still end up being in the playoff even with the one loss, because there's just not enough teams this year. There's a pretty decent chance that 2 of the 4 one-loss teams that still have berths, and I'm going off of this. The committee in the past has set the precedent that if you have more than 1 loss, you will not be allowed into the playoffs. So based on that, the teams that they have picked out be their top 6 or so, and everyone after that either has 2 losses or is too low ranked will be Georgia, Michigan, Alabama, Cincinnati, Oklahoma State, and Notre Dame. So, like I said, Georgia, this matchup against Alabama doesn't matter, but if they want to be playing the 4, probably a loss will not help them. Although there's a good chance the 4 seed ends up being Alabama if they do lose this game. Once again, I think if Alabama loses this game, they are gone, because they will beat that 11-2 with the loss earlier in the year to Texas A&M, which really sucks that you can lose 1 regular season game. You have to end up playing. Basically, this is a playoff game for Alabama, so they'll possibly have to end up playing 2 playoff games if they go far enough. Michigan will take on Iowa. That'll definitely be fun for the Wolverines. I think they'll win, but it's 2 really good teams, 11-1 versus 10-2. And Iowa's a really good football team with a really strong defense who can slow anything down. And Michigan's offense isn't exactly amazing. A lot of their defense is wide good too. But this will be a good defensive battle. Saturday at 7 p.m. I do think Michigan will win, but if they don't, Hawkeyes will end up getting a pretty solid bowl game. They probably will anyways, and I guess so. Michigan, they won't end up in the playoff though if they lose this one. So this is basically a playoff game for them as well. Next up is Cincinnati, who's in a weird spot. They are 12-0, the only undefeated team, I believe, besides Georgia in Division I college football. I don't think they have to win this game. I have a really hard time seeing them getting left out of the playoff. I don't think the committee is going to pick a team like Notre Dame over them, or Oklahoma State if Oklahoma State wins. So I think Cincinnati's in a good spot, even if they do lose this game, even though they are technically 4th. But lost to Houston wouldn't look good, but it's going to be a really good game. Houston is not to be underestimated. They're currently ranked 21st with an 11-1 record. They've only got 1 loss. These are 2 really good football teams, and it should be a good matchup, even if it's overshadowed by at the same time Georgia and Alabama. But it is what it is. Moving on to 5th in the rankings, Oklahoma State, who will take on the Pac-12 championship Baylor at 11 a.m. on Saturday. 10-2 Baylor Bears, who played Oklahoma State earlier in the season, October 2nd, fell short 14-24. Oklahoma State, if they want to make the playoffs, and they might, if Alabama loses, they might be the next team up. Could need to win this game, so basically a playoff game for them, except it's not even just winning you're in. You got to look elsewhere for games afterwards for results, which really sucks. And this is going to be a really good game too. Oklahoma State, obviously, they're team ranked fifth. Baylor's ranked ninth. Baylor's beat some really quality teams this year. Teams like Oklahoma, um, teams like BYU, teams like Iowa State, who's pretty solid. So BYU or Baylor, not to be underestimated. And the last of the teams that can possibly make the playoffs, I think, is Notre Dame, who is basically the team that if Michigan loses and if Alabama loses, and then it's Georgia 1, Cincinnati 2, and Notre Dame's in at 3. So then the question becomes, who is the 4 if Michigan, Alabama, and Oklahoma State all lose? They all have 2 losses, and so that would mean the committee basically has to pick a 2-loss team. So really, I think for them it would come down to between Alabama and Ohio State, and I think they pick Alabama. Basically, just mostly because Alabama, I think they have better losses. It's all of a sudden escaping my mind. I mean, Ohio State's lost to Oregon and Michigan. Alabama's lost to Texas A&M and Georgia. I think Oregon and Michigan are better together, but the Georgia might overweigh it. So it'll be weird. But I'd say probably Alabama over Ohio State. Or we just make them play another playoff. That'd be fun. Won't happen, but would be fun. And that's going to be it for teams with a chance to become bowl eligible this weekend. Not something you usually see on. No, never mind. Not something we see at all on second thought. But in other games, teams unranked. Western Kentucky will take on United, or not the United, University of Texas, San Antonio Roadrunners, 8-4 versus 11-1. Roadrunners are a really good football team. They're really good all year and beat quality conference USA opponents. So, are they in Conference USA? Am I tripping? Okay, never mind. Oregon, Utah should be a really good game Friday night. Oregon's been good all year. Utah's been good all year. That's why they're here. This will be in Las Vegas, Allegiant Stadium. That should be fun. Great venue. Kent State, Northern Illinois, a game I haven't talked about because no one's going to watch it. But, it can be fun. San Diego State's a really, really good football team. They probably deserve to be ranked higher than they are. I'd argue in the top 10. Football, Utah State, that should be fun. Louisiana and Appalachian State also should be fun. Final matchup, conference championship matchup, we haven't talked about Pittsburgh and Wake Forest. And these are 2 teams that have been good all year. Not good enough to make the playoffs. Obviously, no Clemson. No one's really going to watch this game. It's not really must-watch TV, but it's on national television. And we'll probably get overshadowed a bit by Michigan, Iowa going on a different channel. But, could be fun. We'll see who ends up champion of the ACC. And then last at 10 p.m. on FS1 is USC and California, who are playing a regular season game on conference championship weekend to remind everyone how bad both of their programs are. That's going to be it for today's video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you tomorrow, maybe. No promises, but like.